Then later, Natalie would call me in the daytime. And when she was getting to where she couldn't come out so much, and we would chat, and she would always talk about the boys. And she was always very interested in what you were doing. Always ask questions. Where have you been? Have you been on a motorcycle ride? What's going on with the restaurant? And she was always, you know. And I just, every time she came in, I just felt that woman with class and dignity. And I was always intrigued what she was wearing. Always the gloves and everything. And that's just how I know her, you know. And I don't remember, it's probably been a month or more since I even talked to her, or 2 months maybe. And I'm sure, I'm definitely, if you look in the dictionary under class or elegance, you would find her name on there. I really do believe that, because she was one of the most elegant ladies that I've ever met. And she just was a sweetheart to me. And I really will miss her very much.
Well, thank you very much. Can I call on Jim? Yeah, Jim, say something?
Yeah, we did one more thing. My mother's sister, our Aunt Doris, is on the order of 6 years younger, maybe 9. Really was a driving force in my mother's life after her brother Don passed. And they were 2 peas in a pod and the pod. I mean, they had whole ongoing skits and fantasies and whatever about the walrus and things that my Aunt Doris had recently sent down memories of that my mother was able to remember and expound upon just in the last weeks of her life. And so that side of the family, Aunt Doris and the relatives there, really meant a lot to my mother and through all these years. And we're just sorry she can't be here today to be with her, but she can't travel anymore. So she's in Spokane, tending to the farm. So, thank you.
Yeah, I'm Marty Perlman, and this is my wife Esther. We're neighbors. We live across the street, and I was also Natalie's pharmacist. So she used to come in, and you know, it's a strange thing with pharmacy customers. They come in, you want them to come in and say hello, see how are you, but they come in when they're not feeling that well. So it's kind of an oxymoron of kind. And I loved having her come in. Even when she would come in with Consuelo, because she was always bright and cheerful and a lot of fun. And regardless of whatever medicine she was getting, she always had a cheerful demeanor. And I really looked forward to seeing Natalie. As a matter of fact, no matter how busy I was, I would always take time to come and just say hello to Natalie and make sure she was doing okay. And she really did love being around. And I loved seeing her. And I'm very sorry she's not here anymore, but I really did enjoy Natalie. That was it. And Don and Archie.
And who are the ladies you were with?
This is Dolly. Dolly.
Well, he's really with me.
Yeah.
I work at the pharmacy. I was going to bring her friend Eileen Pleistra. She always said that Natalie is one of the best friends. She told me to say that.
She's really up there in age too.
She's I think she's 96, right?
Wow.
Yeah, Eileen worked at the Patton's Pharmacy for around 40 years or so, and she retired a couple years ago when she was about 94 years old. And she loved seeing Natalie also. They were contemporaries.
Yeah.
And Eileen was always thrilled when Natalie came in. Well, it was like a friend.
Great, thank you.
And
We have Karen and Brian Sands. Again, what do you speak for each other? I know that Miss Karen had only known Mom for a short period of time, and my mom fell in love with you, like you'll soon find out from a couple of other young ladies who came into her life towards the end of her life. And we're very grateful. Thank you so much. So it's Karen and Brian Sands. Go ahead and say something.
I guess he wants me to speak, so I'll be real brief. I knew Mom and Natalie for the
probably last 2.5 maybe years of her life, and I bonded with her immediately. What a wonderful, warm, lovely spirit. And so I think that she gave me, well, she did give me one of the nicest compliments I've ever had. And it's something I will never forget as long as I live. We were in the other room there one evening, getting ready to go to the Golden Bowl. And, and Mama Natalie leans over and she says to me, she says, you know, I only wanted boys. I never really wanted a girl. But if I had had you, that might have been okay.
I tried, but I failed, so you took it. And so, and then you're with Brian, and then Jim, and then I'm going to have Don introduce the two folks here again.
Okay. Yeah, I owe my musical talent, ability, my love of languages and everything to my mother. And when I was a child, I wanted to play the cello in the worst possible way. So I came to this gentleman, Peter Schartz, at Lincoln Junior High School. Specifically, I was introduced by people who were far more talented than me, who really knew the ropes, and they said, well, he'll be able to take care of you. So I come in, I'm ready for the cello lesson. He says, he looks at my height and he says, nope, you're playing the bass fiddle. So for 3 years, I'm stuck on this bass fiddle. Boom, 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 boom. You know, bass fiddle for 3 years. And he finds out I can play the piano guitar. He's shocked, amazed, and stunned by that, but whatever. In any case, this is his lovely wife, Levon, and Peter Schartz, who I'm still very, very close friends with. And they live in Torrance or up in PV? Yeah.
Redondo Beach.
Redondo Beach, right. And so we sometimes go to concerts together. But I must say that my mother sang, first of all, she was playing Mozart long before I was gestating with me. She was practicing Mozart. She studied with Zara Kempinski, who was a very famous local pianist with the Kempinski Trio. And so she was studying the Gershwin, which I'm playing today. She studied that with Zara Kempinski. She studied Mozart while I was, before I was born with her. And then I was put in a bassinet under the piano. This was at 10:45 at the Montecito. I put in a bassinet under the piano, and this is all I heard. And my poor brothers, they were brought up on country, rock and roll, and all stuff, and they maybe still sing. My brother Jim still sings in choir, and he thinks I like all kinds of music, but they're much more open to things that are really popular. I love jazz, and I love 20th century classical, particularly Stravinsky and Shostakovich, and even Copland. Well, it's certainly Copland and many, many, many others. But my mother had extreme phobia about 20th century music. She hated it, and especially Mahler she hated. Well, I love Mahler more than life itself. But I think, and it's just absolutely astonishing to me that she could never catch on to it. But she was very dedicated to her distaste for certain things, and she was wedded to them, and she made a culture out of it. It was admirable because she didn't get sidetracked from that, and that was really great. But I did fall in love with German because of the German leader Hugo Wolf and Schubert and Schumann, and plus all the Mozart in German and Beethoven in German. It was just so much German that I heard that I hear German and I'm just some people are just turned off to it, but to me it's music. All German is Heinrich Heine and all these other great Fichte and so forth. But what she gave to me was my dad gave me an insatiable desire and thirst for knowledge, or just to look into things from every possible perspective and look behind the scenes of things. My mother was not that kind of an intellectual, but when it came to sensitivity to the arts and music, she just was so instrumental in giving it all to me. And I hope that I can give a little back today when I play a few numbers for you folks. I hope so.
This is Miss Diane Pedronell. I'd like you to introduce your friends and our friends together. Diane's been very, very supportive. She had a wonderful conversation the day before Mom passed away, and she heard every word. Much like Marcia had a conversation today on the telephone. Mom's eyes would open up, and she knew that the girls were there, whether on phone or in person. I want to thank you so much for this. And so why don't you introduce your two friends? This is my new flying buddy, but go ahead. Go ahead and introduce them. Yeah,
My
another
girlfriend
Linda.
Linda.
Linda, strange name.
And Linda and her fiance Don, and the four of us have been together many times, and they have this flying thing together, the two of them. So
And,
that's how we've all, they had not met Natalie,
Yeah,
but
they had.
very close to RJ.
Well, thank you, very honored. And then somebody else that falls into please, no secrets. This may be my first grade girlfriend. This is my girlfriend. This lady has been born, raised, and lived in Santa Monica all her life. She's my sweetheart in love. And Miss MGMs, go ahead. And Miss Habsburg River Mirror, we all love you. What wonders she did for my mom over the years. And please say something. This is Miss Margaret Baker.
Oh, yes, I'm Margaret, and just listening to all of this, my mother and his father were friends, and they did a lot of politics together, and your mother were in unity together.
Unity.
And this is the first time I'm really kind of remembering that part. And then we got to know each other in high school and whatever, in private schools and whatnot, but we had rarely been separated for too long.
Yeah.
But the minute I see Robert again, and we started doing those beautiful trips to the Golden Bull, I thought my mother was the most unusual person there was, but Natalie was absolutely amazing at everything. And you're just with Natalie and you're with Robert and Robert.
If you folks want to know anything about any of your favorite actors who are long dead and gone, and their daughters and kids and daughters, she knows them all, and she's a walking historian, and I'm very grateful.
That's
I
very
had-
humble.
thank
I
you.
just adored her and the family at large, every time here.
Now, last but not least, but I purposely kind of arranged this, Jim had mentioned that my mom has a sister. What a historian. She has done a history on our families and her family, her side and all. I'm so honored, so glad. I have my cousin and her eldest son, this is Scott Gibb. He's going to talk about Natalie because that's her aunt.
She was always Aunt Natalie, and the gentleman from the Golden Bull summed it up in one word, was elegant. Just an incredibly elegant, stylish, classy woman. They've lived here ever since I was born in 1956. Our grandparents lived in the Palisades, and these boys were lucky to see so much of them. We only got down here every couple of years, usually during the spring break or a couple of weeks during the summer. And what I remember when we stayed here was that she didn't treat us like the obnoxious little ruffians that we were, myself and my sisters. I mean, we used to run around this house. I remember once, I was probably about 6 or 7, my older sister and I were chasing each other around here. And if you haven't been through here, this all connects. And my sister was going this way, I was going this way, and we both met at that big glass, mirrored marble door there. I pushed it into my sister and she broke her big toe. That's one of my memories. But the biggest memory is she didn't treat us like obnoxious children. She treated us like honored guests whenever we were here, even though we were relatives, and we would have accepted a lot less. I can remember eating breakfast, when we were here, to a full table of silver and beautiful china, and it was always like that when we were here. My mom is about 6 years younger, and she would have loved to have been here. She doesn't travel anymore. She's about 88. And she really wanted to be here. Natalie was her big sister, and she looked up to her, and they were as close as I think two people, brothers or sisters, relatives or strangers, could have been. They absolutely adored each other and spoke often on the phone, and I know she wishes she could have been here. The only regret I have is that I didn't pick up the musical gene from that side of the family. My mom was a pianist, my older sister played for a while, but on this side of the family was where the real talent lied, especially with Natalie, and of course with Don, who's going to play with us for a little bit. But I'm honored to be able to come and share some of these memories and hear your memories of Natalie. She was a tremendous woman.
Yeah.
I promise the tables will be open shortly and the drinks were going. We have one more final thing in honor of a lady that on my 60th birthday made a little casket, took a doll, cut some of my hair, made a little effigy of me and stuck pins in it. The lady who delivered a coffin, a full-size coffin custom made for my brother for his 50th birthday and delivered it to Berkeley full of all of his favorite wines. So with that in mind, I'd like to get the gentlemen who have all had a chance to sing, including Dan Roebuck, to in honor, and we'll get a note here.
I'm going to the gentleman.
You have a copy of it, and oh, you're part of it. You're part of it. Here we go. And Don, you're part of it. Come on, stand here. Any other volunteers? And then we'll be going. Then you'll hear some real music from Don.
Don't forget the desk camp, Don.
What happens?
Don't forget the desk camp.
Oh, yeah, wait. Don't forget. Scott, you're in it. You're in it, Scott. All right. All right.
Not too fast.
Not too fast.
Hold on. Where's the opening pitch?
Yo ho, a pirate's life for me. We pillage, we plunder, we rifle, we loot, drink up, ye hearty yo ho. We kidnap and ravage and don't give a hoot, drink up, ye hearty yo ho. Hey, yo ho, a pirate's life for me. We extort, we pilfer, we filch and sack, drink up, ye hearty yo ho. Marauders, embezzle, and even hijack, drink up, ye hearty yo ho. Hey, yo ho, a pirate's life for me. We kindle and char, we flame and ignite, drink up, ye hearty yo ho. We burn up the city, we're really a fright, drink up, ye hearty yo ho. We're rascals, scoundrels, villains, and eggs, drink up, ye hearty yo ho. We're devils and black sheep, we're really bad eggs, drink up, ye hearty yo ho. Hey, yo ho, a pirate's life for me. We're beggars and blighters and dare to a drink up, ye hearty yo ho. I will by our lives.